I got a strange going on out here. Something just killed my dog.
Something killed your dog?
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Dano. You guys, I got a great show for you tonight. I got Cory. Now, I first met Cory in one of my live chats, and we kind of struck up a pretty good friendship. And I said, hey man, you want to come on the show? He's like, sure. I don't know if it's any good, but I said, let me be the judge of that, man. So we're going to talk about a little bit. He saw a bright white orb. Now, what makes this kind of mysterious is it was in broad daylight. Then we're going to move over to where he heard an incredibly loud scream, and he can only describe that as being that of a banshee. Now, it could have been a Bigfoot. Don't know. But he's describing it as a banshee. Then we're going to talk about what he likes to call a pale crawler, like a golem, kind of like the East Texas golem. And then he's going to bring up something that happened to him that he's still trying to figure out. We've heard stories about this before, but he has a lapse in time where he was riding down a trail 1 minute, and the next minute he's riding down the same trail, but heading the opposite direction. And he doesn't have any recollection of turning around. So, but before we bring him on, you guys, thank you so much for all the support. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please check out all the other episodes I have dropped. If you like what you hear, you like what you see, please subscribe to that channel. Hit the notification so you know when I go live or drop new content. And if you've had an encounter you'd like to come on the show, shoot me an email at thecryptidpodcast72@gmail.com. Thecryptidpodcast72@gmail.com. Without further ado, let's bring on Cory. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Hey, man. How's it going, brother?
Doing good. Thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, yeah, man. I've been wanting to for a while, but it takes a little step for me. You'll be my first.
Oh, I'm so happy. Hey, man. So let's just go ahead and get right in on it. And it's not that I'm not paying attention to you. I'm just kind of writing down notes. I'm just going to let you talk. I'm writing down notes and possible questions I may have for you. I'm just going to go ahead and mute my mic just in case I cough or anything like that. But just go ahead.
Yeah. All right. My first encounter. I want to say I was 7 or 8 years old. And I grew up. I call it dirt road poor, man. We made do with what we had, and I stayed on my grandfather's property a lot, and he noticed I liked to steal the lawnmower a lot and go riding it around. Well, he got this old mower going and took the deck off, and that was my 4-wheeler. Had a little trailer attached to it. My cousin would ride with me. He was about a year, 2 younger than me. Well, we had these trails in the woods we'd ride every day. And this one particular day, we were, my grandfather kept a horseshoe trail cut with the brush hog, so because we did a lot of squirrel hunting, rabbit hunting back there. And we're on the north side of the horseshoe. We come up about 100 yards from the curb, and all of a sudden, from the right, coming from the curb, this just bright white, whitest white I've ever seen, and it was almost like it was a light, it was shining, and it's kind of a fuzzy light, like the old fuzz on the TV, but not the black in it, not the pixelation, just that fuzz of the white. So it comes out of that curve, hits the other wood line, crosses back over at an angle towards us, and then cuts back again. It does that about 3 times as we're heading towards it. And about the third time it comes out of the tree line, it turns and comes straight at us. So I immediately, man, a little 8-year-old kid, man, I just whipped the little lawnmower around and head out the trail. And I don't look back, man. I was scared. I admit I was scared. But my cousin is yelling at me from the little trailer, go, 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 go. It's still coming. It's still coming. And we finally get out of the wood line, make it back to the house. And he tells me, he said, man, that thing followed us all the way till we got out the woods. And then it got to the wood line, and I guess it turned left and went back into the wood line. And we were shaken up, and we immediately ran inside. You know how kids do. Paw, 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 paw. That's what we called my grandfather, was paw, paw. Paw, 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 paw. We saw something. It chased us out the woods. We described it, and he said, oh, it's just a rabbit. Well, man, I've been rabbit hunting well before that on my own, little 22. I know what a rabbit acts like. When a rabbit comes out of the wood line and notices you, especially on a loud lawnmower or a four-wheeler or anything, it's not going to come towards you. It's gonna beeline go somewhere else. So whatever this wasn't a rabbit. And I don't remember any legs. I don't remember any tails. I don't remember a head. I don't remember any kind of body to it. It just the size of I want to say the size of a cantaloupe, maybe a football, and just bright white. That's the main thing I can always picture in my head, is that white, But and then so a few years later, I was probably, I don't know, I was 16, so I had a car, and I was working on it in our little shop my grandfather had, and it gets late, so I go inside to clean up. I might have had school the next day, I don't know, but the shop was about 100 to 120 yards away from the house, and I'm walking back towards the house, and from my right back of me, just out of nowhere, like I never heard any leaves rustling, I never heard sticks, I never heard anything. I don't even know if I heard crickets or anything. Just this scream, and I've searched it and searched animal noises. Only thing I can describe it as, like you said, a banshee scream. It's just what I call it. But if you go in, like if you watch any horror movies like I do a little bit, that scream of the woman, just you know what I mean. I mean,
Yeah.
Let
me
go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
No. Let me play some audio for you.
Okay.
I've got some audio here. So let's see if I can remember where Scream is. So this is from Daryl Adams. This is taken in Oregon in his property called Owl Moon Labs. I don't know if you've ever heard of Daryl Adams.
Yeah. Oh yeah, bro. I've seen every episode.
Of my show?
Yes.
Thanks,
and Josh.
Yeah.
And I've been on a rabbit hole, I guess you could say.
All right. So let's see what we got here. Stand by. No, that's more of a howl. You're saying a scream.
Yeah.
But did it have kind of like that cadence to it, or was it just like a loud, forceful scream?
It was just like, I compare it to a woman being tortured. Like if you were in a horror movie, just that.
Yeah.
And it was, I've listened to everybody. So there's the thing, after I heard it, pausing, listening for a second, I immediately went, I kept tracking to the house, went inside, again, told my grandfather. He says, oh, that's just a Black Panther we have a couple of those in Louisiana. He said he ran across one when he was younger hunting. But again, man, I've researched the sounds of so many big cats, bobcats, panthers, cougars, mountain lions. They all have this, if you listen, they have this raspiness to their scream. You know what I mean? That in it, and you can hear behind the scream. This didn't happen. This was like, that's why I say a banshee scream, because it was just, I mean, it was, man, it made your blood boil, you know, hair on the back of your neck stand up.
When you mention it sounds like a woman being murdered or whatever, a lot of people have heard what later turned out to be a Sasquatch scream.
Yeah,
Same thing.
And since I've been, like I said, down a rabbit hole, and I've talked to a lot of people in my area, you know, because I if I know you well enough, I'm gonna come straight out with it. Hey, you seen, heard anything? And I've heard there a few sightings around here, sightings and Class B encounters. Like my buddy of mine just told me a really amazing story today. I won't tell it. I'm trying to convince him to email you.
Yeah.
With
the screws.
Yeah. I'm pressuring him, you know. I was like, man, you got to get it out there, you know. But yeah, he told me a really amazing story. My wife actually confided in me about this. This I think was a dog man, from what she told me. It was aftermath. She lived like 15 miles away from here, farther out in the rural area, and her neighbor had goats. Well, they woke, and you know, it was right next door to their house, and they woke up and found all these goats dead on the ground with their heads ripped off.
Really?
But nothing eaten. She said there was no blood anywhere. So I can only, from what stories I've heard, can account for dogman, you know.
Right.
That's my belief, you know, but I didn't hear anything about it more than that.
Right. Let me ask you this. Do you think that she would be interested in coming on the show?
No, she's real adamant about, she does not want to be on camera or talk about it at all. And I get it, you know, all this is kind of a touchy subject to some people.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh no, I get that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if she doesn't want to be on camera, I can always do one of these.
Yeah.
I can always do that.
Yeah. No, I don't think she wants any kind of recording or anything. She's, you know, social media presence is tiny. She doesn't want any, and it's cool. I get it.
That's completely understandable.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into your pale crawler.
Yeah. So that thing, man. Again, all except for the last thing we're going to talk about later happened at my grandfather's property.
Okay.
And because that's where I spent a lot of time over the years until they passed away. So I'm out. So I mentioned the garage in the previous thing with the screen. Well, that was like our mechanic shop. You know, that's where we worked on everything, all the vehicles. Well, he built on an attached garage because he was an appliance technician. So he would always bring home stuff to work on, you know, and sell and yada yada. But he had air conditioning set up there, everything. So I was out there one night, and this is after he had passed away. And I was 24, 25. I was helping my grandmother because she had just... So he had passed away in a car accident, and she was there too, and she was in ICU afterwards, and she needed some help. So I was there helping her out, and I was out there smoking a cigarette one night. I don't think she was home. I think she might have been visiting family in Virginia. I'm not sure. But as I was out there one night smoking a cigarette, and you come out of the shop, and you make a left to go up some steps to go into the house. There was no door leading into the house. You had to go outside, then inside. And well, I come out and I turn, close the door, and I was probably playing on my phone or something, going to walk up the steps, and this was, man, it was late. I stayed up late back then, man. We're at probably 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I just, all of a sudden, I hear, hey. And I could tell it came from kind of my left. And so down behind the house was a kind of sloped down into a creek bed, and a real tiny little creek. And I look and I see this figure down there, and I focus on it. I refer to everything as a he. He was just outside of what my grandfather called the booger light. The vapor lights, the dusk till dawn lights.
Mm-hmm.
He was just outside of the shine of that light, right at the creek. And I've been on this property since I was a baby. I know this property. And it was about the size of my 4-year-old, man, about the size of a toddler. And it was in that squatted, well, that's why I call it Gollum, is because it's in that same squatted position as the character from that movie. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking, staring at it, trying to get all the features in. I can't figure out what it is. I'm going over everything: coyote, dog, raccoon, possum, armadillo. I can't nail down anything to this. No muzzle. It was not a flat face, but it didn't have the dog snout. No tail. In that squatted position, couldn't see any fur. It was that pale gray and skinny, almost like what's the word?
Emaciated.
Emaciated. Yeah. I could see almost tendons like in the bends, and just scrawny thing down there. And what really creeped me out about it was, as it's in that squatted position, it's not just looking over at me, it's head tilted down, kind of cocked side-eyed at me, and it's just sitting there staring. Anything else noticing me would have ran off, So I got my phone in my hand. I take a picture, but man, this was 2012, 2013. Those camera phones were trash. I looked at it later. There's nothing. So I went ahead and I eased up the steps to go inside, and I'm watching it the whole time, kind of out the corner, looking at it and looking where I'm going. I get inside, go directly to a window, open the blinds. It's gone. And it's just, that thing. I've never seen anything like it before, or until I saw the movies. And when he was sitting on the rock with the fish,
Yep.
It popped. I like that. I seen that. That's what I seen. Everybody kind of looked at me, I was like, I seen that. But
a lot of people.
He didn't have that bulbousy head, it was in proportionate to shoulder and everything.
Yeah, a lot of people, when they see one of these things, they'll say it looks like Gollum from.
Yeah, it was
exactly.
And I can't. That's what made me want to tell about it, is because I heard the story with the East Texas Gollum. I was like, yeah, okay, that's not far from me, because I'm 20 minutes from Texas. So
Okay.
that East Texas area is not far from me. And that's what made me, I was like, so this thing or things are in this area. I'm not the only one that's seen it. Here's another story of the same thing I've seen.
Yeah.
And like I said, it didn't make any other noise other than that, hey, like getting my attention.
It was an
like
audible hey.
oh yeah, it was an audible hey. Like and it wasn't, I couldn't describe it as any specific kind of voice. Just like, if you're walking through the grocery store and somebody says, hey, you don't know who it is till you look,
Did the tone, was it sounded like a higher hey or a hey? Did it have a rasp to the voice?
It was a little raspy, and it was in between. It wasn't a high, it wasn't a low pitch. It was just, that's what, like, at first I thought it was a kid because it wasn't high, it wasn't high pitched, but it wasn't low. It wasn't a low tone. I thought it at first. I did think it was a kid because I heard that. I was like, there shouldn't be a kid out there that late at night in that, at that area. There's no.
Did you ever ask around? Hey, you ever seen anything?
Well, everybody in that area there was two neighbors, one across the street and one to the north, and they were pretty to themselves. We didn't, even my grandparents that lived there from the 60s didn't have a lot of interactions with them. They, they weren't the welcoming type when you talk to, they weren't, we knew they were there. You waved when you passed by, but
yeah, you were neighbors, but you weren't neighborly in a way.
Yeah.
I got it.
We didn't do anything to each other's properties or anything, but
you were cordial when you guys saw each other. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Nice seeing you.
But you didn't see him much. The guy to the north, he was an older gentleman. I think he was older than my grandparents.
Yeah.
So he was home. He stayed inside a lot. The man across the street, I know he worked all the time. You'd see him. You wouldn't see him leave in the mornings, and you wouldn't see him get home till late at night. So he was always at work, But no, I haven't really asked. It's kind of when you do bring something like this up to people, they kind of look at you funny.
Yep.
Like it's they like that dog head cock. Like, what are you talking about, man? Like, no, I haven't seen that. Who sees this?
They probably have. They just don't want to come out.
Well, that's why I've been more and more like, hey, are you into cryptids? You ever seen anything? More and more, And it's this community, man. This community you're growing it's bringing it out in me.
Well, good, man.
And I appreciate it, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, and I trust me, I understand it, man. I really do. A lot of times people ask me, hey, why did you even start the channel? I'd been wanting to do it, and then I was a co-host on Josh's when he did lives, and then I did my paranormal podcast, which I loved doing. It just got crazy. It was bringing unwanted attention, and I decided I did not want that in my life, so I got rid of all of it, and then I sat on it for probably near the end of it. I was really considering doing it, and I just kind of like asked Josh Blessings, hey, I want to do a podcast, and I want it to be about this. Is it cool? I don't want it to interfere with yours. And he's like, get it, but I wanted to do it for a selfish reason because of what I encountered when I was younger. To get answers, because I knew something was going on, and I couldn't have been the only person that saw what I saw or experienced what I experienced. And I knew there were other people, and you're in the same boat.
Yeah.
And
truthfully, man, the more I talk about it, the better I feel about it. The more I feel, when you see these things, you feel alone at first. And the first few people you do bring it up to, they look at you crazy. So that makes you draw inside deeper into that, and so then you don't talk about it.
Right.
But the more I talk about it, the better it feels, the easier it is to talk about it,
Yeah. So, you brought up another thing that happened to you.
Yeah.
Excuse me. If you want to talk about it, you can. If you don't want to talk about it, I completely understand.
I'll talk about it, man. I mean, I can say about everything, man. To me, it doesn't seem like a lot, but to somebody else, it might be a lot. Because in my experience so far, being involved with this community, these interviews I watch is a lot to me, feeling not alone, So yeah, I'll talk about it, man.
Sure.
So yeah, well, I want to say 2001 ish. Can't remember, man. I've never been good with dates. I know I had to have been 14, 15. The summers I would visit my dad in Georgia. He lived kind of north Georgia, north central Georgia. A lot of cow fields, woods, chicken coops, kind of foothills. And we had 4-wheelers. My stepbrother had his own 4-wheeler that he bought with his own money, and he would be cutting trails in the woods all the time. And I'd come in the summers, he'd be off working or something, so I'm out there by myself exploring these new trails he cut the year before since I've been gone, And so I find this new one that he had cut, and I'm rolling down it, man, and it just it's snaking along, kind of next to a creek. I can't remember the creek's name. I can show it to you later and show you on the map where it's at or something. But it's on the edge of the property, and I'm snaking down it, and I'm going south, right? And I remember the trail. It cuts right and then whips back left around this big oak tree. Now when I cut left, that's where it stops. I don't see anything else down. I cannot. Every time, and I've thought about it since then. Every time, I cannot see anything past that tree. The next thing I know is when I'm going down the trail, I'm going around the tree with it on my left, cut the curve. The next thing I know, I'm cutting right with the tree on my right. And I still don't know what's past that tree. Every time I look at it in my head, it's almost that tree is a barrier.
Okay.
It's like it's blank. I don't, and I didn't carry a watch at that time or anything, so I don't know how long I was there, and I don't know how long I was back. It was just, to me, it's just a snap of the finger, it's hard to explain. It was that lapse of time.
Yeah.
How do I not see that? How do I not know? I can tell you every piece of that property. I can go back there right now and walk it blindfold, except that trail. My dad and my stepmother lived on that property. Well, my ex-stepmother is still on that property, but they were there for a long time. And every summer, that was my summers. It was there, and I still can't. I can't. I don't know what's in that area. I don't know what's past that tree.
Do you know what county this was in Georgia?
Oh, man,
because the reason I'm asking is I'm curious to see if there's any ley lines.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Because again, there's anomalies that people have encountered.
Yeah.
They have those lapses of time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, myself, I've had a couple of lapses in times. One when I was in the military. Well, both times when I was in the military. One when I was in Germany.
Yeah.
One when I was in Wyoming. Now, the one that happened when I was in Germany, I'm not gonna lie, I was pissed drunk. And I missed like 3 days of I don't know where I was at for 3 days, but I had
Yeah.
hotel key in my pocket. I had all my money. I had receipts, and so yeah, it's but
Yeah, we've been there. I think we've all been there, man. Yeah,
but
I
the
get it.
second,
But this was, like I said, I was 14, 15,
yeah,
no access to alcohol. I didn't drink,
yeah,
it wasn't that wasn't me then,
yeah,
it's, I want to say Hart County. I don't,
hard or heart.
Hart, Hart. I
Sorry.
want to say, um, it was a little community called Planter, like
Planter? Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, man. I got the Southern accent.
Oh, you're good.
um, I think it was Hart.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Like a little north of Athens, Georgia.
Okay.
A little north of Athens.
All right, cool.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna say exactly where it is because my stepmother still lives there. I don't.
No, I wouldn't ask you to do that.
Yeah. But yeah, that one still. I dream about it sometimes still of going down that trail and just a flash, and I'm back going the other way.
Okay. It just by memory, how big do you think that oak tree is?
16, 18 inches around.
So it's an old.
It's an old oak. Yeah, it was an old oak tree.
See, here's the thing.
That area had never been logged. That wasn't it was.
Bro, there's sometimes there's symbology. I think I'm saying that right. That okay. What does it mean? What does an oak symbolize or anything like that? You don't know. I mean, you really, when you have something like that happen, you don't have any answers. You kind of want to look at everything out there that's available to you that might make some kind of sense of what happened. Now, again, about how much time do you think
So
that you're missing?
I can remember after this happening, going back out the trail, and it comes out when you come out of the woods. It comes into this it was an old cow pasture. They bought some old land, and riding back to the house and going in because man, I was. It felt like it had been a long day, hot, and my stepmom asked, hey, what were you doing? I was out riding the 4-wheeler, She said, well, you've been gone a while. I was like, oh, yeah, I out on the trails. I didn't know what to think at that time, and I didn't want to worry her, because she treated me, she was another parent to me. She didn't treat me like that stigma of step parent.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. It was just, I knew nothing was wrong with me. Nothing was physically wrong with me. I didn't feel weird. I wasn't beat up, bleeding, or anything. So she just said it was a while. So, and I know I hadn't been gone long because
What time did you set out?
About
was it morning? Was it like between morning and afternoon, like mid afternoon, mid morning? Was it afternoon? Was it after afternoon?
It was afternoon. It was
like after lunchtime.
Yeah, probably after lunchtime. Because we probably went somewhere. It was, if she was home, it would have been a Saturday. My dad worked Saturdays. If she was home, it would have been a Saturday. And I might have went with her to the grocery store or something, or no, went into town or something with her, and then we come back. So it was afternoon, and I do remember not long after that, my dad coming home. Now he didn't stay out; he didn't work late because, like I said, summer he was construction. He built decks and carpentry, vinyl, all kind of stuff like that. So he was out in the heat, and so he would get home like 4:00. So it wasn't long after that he came home. So it could have been a 3-4 hour time frame. that I was, from the time I left the house to the time I got back to the house. Now, it didn't take hours to go down these trails. You know, they weren't
Right.
super long, you know. Yeah, it was, man, 3 hours. I was gone the whole time, but the time of me riding was maybe 30, 40 minutes.
Wow.
You know, now that you got me really thinking about it, I never sat down and thought about the time. I just always concentrate on that flip,
Yeah.
you know, going one way and automatically coming back the other way, you know. That's
So
wow.
let me ask you this, because I find it fascinating. So you remember approaching and making that left at the oak tree,
Yeah, and
and the next minute, now were you stopped,
no,
or
I
are
was
you?
still going.
So
It,
it's like you're driving like this, and next thing you know, you're driving back this way.
yes, I
Wow.
was still moving. I wasn't stopped. Still in, you know, third, fourth gear, second, third. You know, I remember I was still moving. You know, I wasn't. It wasn't a stop. Something turned me, and then I started back up again. No, it was a. I was getting it down this trail. It was a little two. It was a quad bike. You know,
Mhm.
it wasn't a 4-wheel drive hunting 4-wheeler or anything.
Yeah.
These were little racing bikes almost, and
Yeah.
I was getting it down this trail, and I remember going to cut it around this tree, and I didn't spin. I know I didn't spin or anything like that, man, because I was always doing stupid stunts. It was cutting around this tree, and next thing I know, I'm cutting back the other way around the tree. Like, and I can't see anything after the tree.
Man, that is so weird. It's, you know what that reminds me of? Have you seen Stranger Things?
I saw the first season, and then we kind of collectively banned Netflix in the house after that.
So when it kind of goes to the
Yeah.
upside
Oh,
down
yeah.
world,
Yeah. The upside. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So like they go in a door, and it's like you're like, whoa, what just happened? It's kind of like, so it's kind of like, yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
And it was just like a. I don't remember turning around.
Yeah.
It was this way around the tree, and then the opposite way around the tree. I didn't circle the tree. I didn't spin out and then start coming the other way. Yeah,
One
it's
minute,
I know it's hard to explain. You know, if it
one second
because it
it's on
doesn't
your
happen. You know,
right. Like one second it's on your left hand side, the
left-hand
next
side.
second it's on your right hand side.
Yeah,
That's crazy, man.
and not even it was not even a second. You know, it was a snap of the fingers. You know, like
That you know of.
yeah, that I know of, that I can see, that I can remember, that I can
Yeah.
visualize. You know, it was yeah.
But again,
And like I said, in my memory, it's black after that. In my memory, I do not have any. I don't know where the trail led. I don't know what bushes, what trees,
you should go there.
anything. Yeah, man, it's
You should go there
I want- I
with
need
a
to-
camera, and you
yeah.
should walk down that trail.
Well, I don't even know if that trail's there anymore. That was what 20 years ago.
Man.
No, I'm sorry. No, 10. I was 14, 39 now. It was
15
a
years
long time ago. Yeah, 15 years ago, and I'm still in contact with my stepmother, but her
Actually, no,
kids must
25 years ago.
yeah.
25 years ago, yeah.
Oh God, man.
You're old.
I feel like it, brother. I feel like it. But that's probably all grown up now. There's probably not even a trail there because
Bet
it
you-
was that I know of.
Bet you that oak is still there.
Oh yeah, that oak's still there, but I don't even know if I could get in there because before we started cutting trails, it was a lot of brush and undergrowth. Like we physically had to bring hatchets and machetes sometimes to make these trails. And like I said, my stepbrother, he was a couple years older than me, so he was always in there when I wasn't in Georgia. and this is like a 10-hour drive away from where I'm at now,
Yeah.
my hometown. So he spent most of the year out there playing around, building these trails. And like I said, this was one I'd never been down.
Do you ever hear him? Have you ever asked him if he's ever encountered anything like that?
No, I haven't. He is the one that I'm not in contact with. We kind of just went our separate ways after our parents split,
Yeah. Are you in contact with your former stepmom?
A little bit here and there, from what I can remember, she's not the kind to talk about it. If she did ever see anything, she was a very what's the word? Factual person, like this isn't normal. I'm not going to talk about it.
Right, right. Yeah, I've also had 3 stepmoms and 2 stepdads, so I know what it's like. I just kind of reconnected with my youngest brother. It's my dad's youngest son. He had with his second wife, and I hardly know the kid. He's in his 40s, and I hardly know him. But I mean, I remember him. I remember his older brother, which was my stepbrother, and his sister, who was my stepsister. And I'm trying to get him to convince his cousin, who I know, to come on my show because he's had a Sasquatch encounter. So
now along those lines, man, and I'm gonna, I was talking to my younger siblings on this same property. Now I know you don't talk about it, so I'm not gonna tell the stories about it. I've had, well, not yet, just on my grandparents' property. I've had paranormal. My younger sisters had paranormal. And around the same time, I forgot to mention it. I don't know why it just popped in. My younger brother, he's right at 15 years younger than me. He saw what he believes was the same creature, the same golem creature, running through the tree line. He said just for a second. But at another instance, he described it as a thunderbird. He said he's walking through the yard. Next thing he knows, he just sees the largest shadow block out the sun. And he looks up, and it's the hugest thing he's ever seen. Like I could, when he said it, I could see it in his eyes. Like he didn't get into detail of it much. He described Thunderbird, and I knew what he meant. Like I've seen some stories and some descriptions of him. I mean, like I understand what he meant, like how large this thing was.
I'm gonna want to talk to him.
I know. I'm gonna try to get him.
Because that
like
is
like I've told
incredible.
all of them. Like I told all of them, I'm going on here. I'm gonna send you the link. Watch me. I can do it. You can do it.
Dude, I just interviewed somebody last night that I've been trying to get. I met him in chat as one of my live chats as well.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's not a Thunderbird. It's not Mothman. The way he was describing, the only thing that I can think of is that thing from Jeepers Creepers.
Oh God!
And bro, he said the road that he was on, the trees were really tall on the sides, right? This is kind of a busy street, but it's like the canopy was all open. And he said it was at night, and something caught his eye, and he said he watched it dive down. It disappeared from his view, and then it like buzzed his car, like skimmed, like the windshield went right over there. And he said, "I'm getting goosebumps talking about it, man."
I had a Nighthawk buzz my motorcycle one night like that. It's just,
yeah.
I couldn't imagine something larger,
but it's not the only time that thing was sighted in this area. And he gave me a site that I've been reading about it, and there's been multiple sightings of this thing. Yeah,
I can't wait.
Spooky.
I can't wait. Don't spoil
Yeah.
it. I don't want to.
I'm not going to, man. It's awesome. So.
Yeah.
But hey, man, I just want to say thanks for coming on, man. It's a pleasure
man.
meeting you. Thanks for being a mod on my chat too, man. I appreciate that.
I love it, man. Hey, and shout out to all the other mods. Y'all are doing a great job, man.
Hey,
doing a great job.
I've said it before. I'm gonna keep saying it, man. I think I have the best mods.
And man, when I talk about this community, I mean it, man. I've met some people that I talk to from your community. I talk to them on a daily basis.
That's awesome, man.
About just anything. We just talk, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, one of them, you know who she is, lives in Scotland. I talk to her every day.
Oh, yeah.
Just checking on each other, you know.
Yep.
Yep.
We got Vonnie that I talked to. Mags I talked to. Sabrina.
Mags just added me on. Maggie just added me on Facebook, you know.
Yep. See who else? Steamboat.
Yep.
Wade. Greasebag.
This is a great place, man. Anybody watching this, check us out. Check Dano out. Go check Josh out. This is a great community, man. It's very welcoming and it feels like home.
I appreciate it, man. And that's one thing that I strive to be. It is very welcoming, and where people, it feels like we're just all around a big campfire and we're just all having a good time hanging out.
It is.
So, but all right, man. Hey, hang out in the green room for a second, and I'll be right back to you.
All right.
You guys, that's Cory, man. Cory's one of my mods, and I'm glad to have him aboard. You guys, honestly, I don't really know what to say when it comes to the lapse in time. I'm serious when I said I had a lapse in time when I was in the military at F.E. Warren Air Force Base in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And that's under different circumstances. And one day I might tell that story on here. But to have this lap in time, like he said, that it almost was like immediately that it happened. And then his Pell Crawler incident, that scream he heard, and then that bright orb, you know, when he's like 7 or 8 years old. I mean, how do you really explain that? Size of a cantaloupe, chased him out of the woods, and then almost did an about face and went right back in the woods. But you guys, that's the show for tonight. I want to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to check us out. If you'd like to check out some of the other content, definitely go check that out. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. Hit those notifications so you know when I go live and drop new content. As my buddy Josh always says, well, before I say that, if you guys have had an account and you'd like to come on the show, there's the address. Hit me up at the Cryptid Podcast 72@gmail.com. The Cryptid Podcast 72@gmail.com. You guys, I'm truly appreciative of everything you guys do. And again, as my buddy Josh always says, you guys stay prayed up. And as I always like to say, remember, a legend always begins with a sighting. You guys have a great day. I'll see you next time.
I got a strange going on out here. Something just killed my dog.
Something killed your dog?